This will be the Hearthstone.fi Monday Night Community Tournament number 25, semifinal number 2, with Nymerius from the Netherlands versus Outplaybro from France. Unfortunately, I'm just seeing from the Twitch chat that Yon, you were there. Nice to see you. Unfortunately, Game King didn't make it. Hopefully, you'll still stick around with us for the remainder of the cast. Thanks for watching. The players and the class picks from the remaining semifinalists, Nymerius and Outplaybro, are Hunter, Druid, and Warrior for Outplaybro, and Druid, Mage, and Warlock for Nymerius. It's interesting that the Druid hasn't actually made that big of a splash in these tournament matches we have right now, so first Druid in a while to make it to this stage. Like you see, I'm telling both players that we are indeed ready on my part, so we'll get the matches going as fast as possible. And what Strife Crow said at Seed Story Cup 3 the past weekend might actually be true about Druids, that they are not so great in the Conquest format.
You asked for it.
Oh, interesting. Freeze Mage from Nymerius versus Outplaybro's mid-range Hunter. The Lotheb and the Shredder give it away.
Hello.
Job's done.
This is a horrible, horrible starting hand for the Freeze Mage. Thorisan, Antonitis, Flamestrike, all way too expensive cards to be useful against a Hunter of any kind. You have the Arcane Intellect, which is a real worst possible turn 3 play. On the upside, the Hunter isn't doing much better. He's forced to play just a Haunted Creeper on 3 and then probably coin out the Shredder on... Creeper on 2 and then probably coin out the Shredder on turn 3. Good, you can argue to play the Acolyte of Pain since there's a 1 attack minion on the board. But the downside here is that if Outplaybro would actually have the bow, Eaglehorn Bow would be able to 100% clear this pain without getting more than 1 card. It's a small risk to play it, but it's still worth it. In this matchup, it would seem. Now, this is a really tough call to make. You don't want to be using the Kill command this early to just deny the card draw from the pain. Yeah, the coined out Shredder is reality. You don't have anything for turn 4. You're only holding double 5 drops, so you kind of wanted to use the coin on turn 4 for some or one of these guys. But on turn 4 you can go for the Iron Beak Owl to silence away the Acolyte of Pain, Hero Power. The Owl by itself would have actually been an okay option for turn 3 too, denying the cards from the Mage player. Golden Mistress of Pain. It's probably not going to be significant here, unless it ends up living so far that you can actually utilize her heals against Alexstras's reset, but that's not going to happen. She'll be taken out clearly. Do you use the Fire Blast to draw a card yourself, or do you... Yeah. You use it to clear your own hit point pool so you can guarantee 3 draws from this Acolyte of Pain. And if you had popped it on the Creeper, then you would actually given the Hunter more attack power than he currently has. And this turn 4, the Outer Beak Owl suddenly became pretty useless. It would only deny 1 card. If it had been played 1 turn earlier, it would have denied 3 cards. So argument for it would have actually been quite strong. But it's easy to make these calls when you have the 100% guaranteed gift of hindsight. And now as the Hunter player, you're fairly certain you're facing down something like a Freeze Mage, because not many mages run the Acolyte of Pain and nothing else onto the board at this stage of the game. So thus, holding onto the Haunted Creeper without popping it is actually an okay call. I personally would have liked to have seen the Mistress of Pain go and kill this Acolyte so it cannot pop this Haunted Creeper. If it pops the Creeper, then something like a Blizzard starts to get very, very good value. This turn 5, it's a bit problematic. You could just go for the Arcane Intellect, see what goes down from there, or go for the Ice Battery or Hero Power. Clear out this 1/1 or whittle down the hit points of the Mistress of Pain. Yep, going for the clear, since you don't have the minion left anymore. With these 1/1s out on board, the Blizzard becomes useful for the next turn. Now, if you play the Loatheb right now, yes, you lock out the Blizzard, but there are much more and many more better options for you to use the Loatheb on, something like a turn after Antonidas. Playing the Belcher is a safe bet. Even the Flamestrike won't be able to take it out. You wouldn't have the mana for the Flamestrike anyway yet. Taurisan, and with a hand full of only 2 burst cards. It's not that bad, it won't make the burst that insane, but it does enable so many of your cards to do so much more. That Taurisan by itself just 8 mana upped Nymerius, which is a very, very significant increase in the mana pool. It basically paid itself back plus 2 crystals, just as a bonus. The high main top deck is actually very, very nice. It won't be able to be destroyed with any sort of traditional AoE, and even if you get the Frost Nova Doomsayer combo for it, then the 2/2s still stay on the board as an annoyance. So it's not that bad for the Hunter, although it would generally be considered pretty subpar. He was even forced to use the Belcher to clear out the Taurisan, so... Yep, Doomsayer, no reason to play anything else, really. Arcane Intellect, maybe you could argue that you should have made the Arcane Intellect play it earlier. And that Mad Scientist is gonna get popped down, so it'll get guaranteed value, and you don't want to be seeing those secrets drawn into your hand at this stage anyway. Is just gonna be a sacrifice for the secret. And now hoping for either Huffer or maybe Leok? I don't know. If he had gotten Huffer, would it have made a difference on the Doomsayer? Nope, you still would have had to have silenced it. Timberwolf Unleash is usually a nice combo, but in this matchup it's pretty useless. The Timberwolf by itself will be able to boost up the attack values of these 3 minions, but not many of them will be left after this Flame Strike. And with the taunts gone, you can utilize your 2/2 to clear out one of the spawn 2/2s from this high main. And let's see if it's an ice block or a barrier number 2. Barrier number 2, so that's a bit unlucky right now. You always want to make sure that you have the block up. If those are the last 2 cards in this deck, then the Hunter might actually be able to overwhelm you. And this Alexstrasza, even if it is used defensively, will be a lot harder to utilize it well. Yep, the Hunter must be happy to see just the Ice Battery and not the block. Do we see the Freezing Trap? I don't think you want to actually play it with the Doomsayer on the board. Because if there's some way for him to activate this Doomsayer and attack with it, that would just reset the situation. Aggressive Alexstrasza would be perfect on the curve. It's unlikely the Hunter will be able to deal 30 damage anyway. Blizzard would slow down the game significantly, but it would not be so good for the mana curve. And when you go for the Alex this turn, you can go for Archmage Antonidas, Frostbolt, Ice Lance, for turn 10, and you'll get 2 fireballs in your hand, and you will actually push 7 damage to the face. And if this Alexstrasza stays alive, you will actually have lethal. Freezing trapping an Alexstrasza, pretty much perfect. So the trap will quite likely be put down going for the face, since this Alexstrasza will become 100% unplayable with the trap up. Scientist or hero power. You're already holding on to one of your scientists. The hero power will get value and you're low on cards anyway. Could he top deck lethal for himself right now? Don't think so, especially not with the Loatheb debuff. You don't want to play Antonidas before you get the value out of it immediately. 10 mana Blizzard is tough. It's a hard decision to make, but you've got to make it. You don't want to attack with the Alex, because if he didn't have the freezing trap earlier, he's gonna have it now. Snipe! Wow. Now that's some out of meta thinking. I guess with the addition of Azure Drakes into many decks, this might actually become useful. But yeah, against aggro maybe as well. I don't really see the value in that one. Snipe is one of those cards that it's out of the meta for a reason. I'm gonna get 2 dogs from both unleashes. Kill command for 5. Maybe just 1 unleash, kill command, scientist hero power. That would be 100% perfect for the mana. And you wouldn't be so prone to get removed with just a single AoE card. Ah, right, this is 100% effective as well. You're just not using the kill command. Now, that's the downside of the fact that these dogs will quite likely be all removed with some sort of AoE, and when they're removed, this kill command becomes just 5 instead of just 3 instead of 5, and you're hoping to top deck into that. There's a snipe getting played, so no spell power for you this turn. Top decked fireball still gonna go for face, and you have to play the ice block. You absolutely positively have to play the ice block. If you're not playing this Blizzard to clear the board, then without the ice block, there's a high chance you will get popped. You know it's a freezing trap, you can't utilize this Alexstrasza. Yep, anything else than the ice block and he's dead. 5, 9, 11. No other minions except for our Antonidas. You're forced to use the Alexstrasza to pop the freezing trap. This guy is gonna just stay in your hand forever and ever. 5, 9, 11, and 5, 16, 18 damage potential. Well, the Frost Nova does lock down the board as well. I was in the wrong there. But you did not see a second Doomsayer, so that's a bit of a relief for the Hunter player. Going for the Savannah hero power is not wrong. It's more efficient than playing the kill command once again. You're holding on to that surprise damage right there, but the risk of getting lethal in this turn is very, very high. 3, 7, 8 with the cards in hand. And with this Archmage Antonidas, you'll be able to ice block into more fireballs from those cards you're proccing. And now that you're playing the ice block, you're actually safe for the upcoming turns, so... Yep. Nymerius played it 100% perfect. If he had gone with my play of ice block, he would have actually been at risk to lose this match completely, because the opposing hunter would have been able to proc it 1 turn earlier. Even with the kill command to his Antonidas, well, to his own face. Honorable Sudoku. This makes it so that Nymerius take this best of 5 series in 1-0 right now. He still has to take a win with his Druid and his Warlock, while Outplay still has all 3 of their classes, Hunter, Druid, and Warrior available. Druid and Warlock. You could go for the Druid mirror matchup. Try to get that going for you. The Hunter. Hunter is actually, depending on the type of Druid you're gonna see. If it's a combo Druid, the Hunter is pretty good. If it's some sort of taunt Druid, the Hunter is pretty awful. If the Warlock is handlock, well, doesn't have to be guessing work anymore. We'll see what sort of Warlock Nymerius is running. It's a handlock.
Your soul shall be mine.
This matchup used to be considered tough for the Warlock, but recent developments have actually shown that the Warlock isn't that bad off against the Hunter nowadays. The handlock's ability to rebound, especially with those antique heal bots, has made it so that this matchup is no longer as difficult as it used to be. And it seems we have the spectator bug. Just a short while we fix it.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
You could owl your own watcher since you just coined out your own watcher. Get the value from the 4-5 that way. And are we out synced again? I think we are. We saw the turn timer go, but we did not see the watcher attack. Yep. Let's join Outplaybro's side of the table this time. Go and watch what it looks like to play as the Hunter against the handlock onslaught. Seems the 2-2 was sacrificed to go for the Ancient Watcher and then Eaglehorn to the face. Actually, Eaglehorn to the 2-1 Owl. It's a bit of a shame that the Freezing Trap decided to come out. This Freezing Trap onto the Ancient Watcher. He's actually gonna reset their hit point pool. On the other hand, if he sees that it's a Freezing Trap, he doesn't want to attack because then the attack capabilities of the Ancient Watcher would be gone in a one fell swoop. With that random Huffer, you can either trade the Huffer out or realize that the one charge from your Eaglehorn bow isn't worth that much.
I wonder.
Sorry about that, my voice is getting a little hoarse. No targets for the Dark Bombs. Not enough mana to cast the Art of the Ring Force here yet. Proccing this Protector in the Freezing Trap is actually quite a good thing to do. You'll get the Battle Cry from it again. The only downside is the fact that you give the Eaglehorn bow another charge.
To my side.
But I don't think there are many minions in your deck that would actually be better for the Freezing Trap than the Sun Fury Protector. So
many possibilities.
you'll have to proc the trap at some point anyway. Dark Bomb, Mortal Coil. Get the card draw. And a tap. Yep. This Twilight Drake will be quite big come turn 6. The Sun Fury will have to attack at some point. It just can't sit around on the table waiting for something to happen. Now, had Outplaybro gotten a second weapon, then the situation would be different. And he would actually want to attack with the Eagle Horn Bow, but since he doesn't have it, he's just content sitting on the trap and not doing anything. Waiting for that extra 3 damage to become relevant and useful. The Thaurissan has to be removed. Thaurissan is one of those cards that, especially in a handlock, will get crazy good value. Usually you have a full hand of cards and Thaurissan will just be able to accelerate your dudes and spells into such range that you'd think you were in days before nerf. But how do you do that? How do you clear out the Thaurissan? You could go for the Unleash Houndmaster. 3 plus 2, that's exactly 5. Actually, 3 plus 1 is 4. Would not be enough. Houndmaster on your own Savannah. Well, it's prone to get silenced, but you already saw one silence getting played, so what are the odds of that? Just play Boom on curve. Yeah. And go face with the High Main. You can trade with the Thaurissan, but this is the really, really ballsy move, this one. You're ignoring the Thaurissan and you're facing a handlock. So this could backfire very, very spectacularly. Seven damage on the board, freezing trap on the opposing side. 13, 15, 18, 20 damage next turn come from just what you see on the board. Nothing from the hand. Yep, there's the freezing trap. Getting the Sun Fury Protector out. Interesting thing is, I wonder what he's gonna use it with. The Twilight Drake is 4, so you can't use it with that. Defender of Argus is still 4. Or is it? It's actually 3 on that side of the board. So one could argue that using the Twilight Drake plus Defender of Argus could be an option. This Big Game Hunter to remove the 7/7 into Shadow Flame to clear the board completely is actually a much better play and well read, because there are not going to be a lot of targets for BGH to get value, and BGH does have the high attack value for the Shadow Flame to be useful and completely clear the opposing board. Very well played from Nymerius. He's showing us his level of skill and how he's made it to this far in the tournament scene. If he ends up taking this second match as well, it's not going to be a far-fetched idea to get one win for the Druid. Druid is such a consistent class that it will be very difficult for Outplaybro to take a 3-win series against the Druid. At 8 mana, Twilight Drake for 4, maybe Defender of Argus, Molten Giant maybe. There are a lot of options available. If you tap, you put yourself at a risky position, but with 2 mana you could play the Molten Giant, Twilight Drake first, then Molten Giant, then hope that you don't die the next turn and utilize your Protector or Argus to taunt them both. The Hellfire clears out the minions that are there, but they will just get changed with newer ones. Ah, it enables your Molten Giants. There we go. Now I understand why they did that. Play Molten Giant into Sludge Belcher. And this is such a perfect card for the existing board. There are no beasts right now, so the Houndmaster is useless. Double Unleash for just 2. What's that gonna do? That is really nothing. A Belcher of your own. Well, there's the 8/8 just waiting to munch it down. I think you're sort of forced to play either 1 or 2 Unleash. I would say 1 Unleash into Houndmaster into Hero ability. And use that 3/3 to not do anything. Use your weapon plus the 2 guys, the 1/1s to take out the original Belcher. Use your 2/2 to kill the small Belcher. Drop the Unleash before you do that with the Houndmaster for the 3/3 attack value, and go for 4 to the face plus 2 from the hero power. You can't afford to play around Jiraxis too badly right now. There we go, exactly how I called it. For once it's nice to be right. You've seen 1 Molten Giant, you're not afraid of the second one. And now's your chance to rush down the Warlock before he gets the resets. Unfortunately for Outplay though, there's gonna be this free Molten Giant and this Twilight Drake with quite big bodies with Argus and Protector between them. So 3 mana Twilight Drake leaves 6 up, 0 mana Molten Giant. So it's Defender of Argus, Sun Fury Protector, both if need be. Ah, tapping. Interesting. Now he's from a situation where at 5 he could handle smaller threats. Any sort of direct damage is lethal anyway, that's true. And now that he played the 0 mana Molten Giant first before playing the Twilight Drake, he's not gonna... Yep, he's playing this in the wrong order. He's losing 1 hit point from there. And the 4 mana Protector is gonna go onto the 8/8s as well. That tap was a bit unnecessary. Because what were you fishing to get out of there? What really were you looking for? There's nothing that could really save you, and you're losing out on 1 taunt. Well, the good news is that he can play a whole of his hand next turn. Despite that small sequencing error. Unleash for 4 suddenly becomes a lot more useful. Belcher Hero Power would be the most mana efficient way to go for it. What could he be looking for? Since this is a mid-range hunter, there are no Leroys, there are no... I don't think there are any quick shots. If there are quick shots, I haven't seen them. He's clearing out the taunts, and there's we go. 100% exactly what he needed to get the lethal. If Nymerius had not tapped, this would not have been lethal yet. So that tap was a critical mistake. It is now 1-1. Nice to see an even series. Waiting for both those players to get going. It is now a little bit past midnight here in Finland. The semifinal number 2 is well underway, and once we get it done, we will move straight up to the grand final, which will be another best of 5 conquest series. Let's join the side of Nymerius. It's the Druid Mirror I was expecting to see. Now this is all about the draws. Who gets the better start with the Wild Growths? Outplay has got the combo in his hand. That's actually a bit of a double-edged sword. Definitely you don't want to be holding on to the Druid of the Claw. I would discard both the combo components and hope to get something that's more significant in the early game. Actually discarding the Zombie Chow from Nymerius. Interesting pick because of the fact that he knows that no cards in this matchup are useful to be taken out with the Zombie Chow. The Wild Growth is definitely the play to go for here. Outplaybro, taking the coin Wild Growth out. You can play the Druid of the Flame next turn. Oh, are we out of sync once again? Yes, we are. There's only 1 mana left there. Yep. Blizzard, please fix. I would really be loving the ability to stay in these games without too much of a hassle. No, he just didn't play it. Yep, he just did not play it. Not the coin nor the Wild Growth. I wonder why, indeed. That's well said. Had he played it, he could actually go for the Druid of the Flame this turn already. The logic behind it is that on turn 4 you'll be able to coin out either Druid of the Claw or Sludge Belcher. And since you're facing down a Loatheb, it's going to be a Druid of the Claw. But with the Loatheb you can't play any of that. So Druid of the Flame has a 5/2.
Bathe in flame.
Yep, Bathe in Flames. I haven't actually seen that emote from Druid of the Flame previously. 5/2 would be able to contest the Loatheb, but unfortunately for Outplay, Keeper of the Grove 2 damage, perfectly on curve, clearing out that boosted up Molten Rager. What was the name of the 5/1? I think it's Molten Rager. Oh, I guess it's the time taking its toll on me. Both these minions will be able to trade into it if he wants to. They're definitely not charging the Druid of the Claw into it. That would make a little to no sense. Unless you want to really preserve your 5/5's hit point pool.
What to do?
But we are on Outplaybro's turn. Yep. He already played the Druid of the Claw. Nothing there. Just holding on to the coin for possibility the coin innervate out the Druid of the Flame. This turn 5 is clunky on the mana curve if you don't use the Druid of the Claw. In theory, the Shredder is more sticky for you to defend, and it won't be so easily removed. Swipe is not a real threat against this board. You've got 2 good minions against Swipe. Both those minions should, in my opinion, be thrown out and traded with the Druid of the Claw. Pop a Druid of the Claw as a taunt of your own, and then on turn 6 use the Shieldmaster hero power or the Shredder hero power, depending on the board state. And there's the taunt. Excellent. Calling them like I see them. Cycling, yep, good call. Taking out 5 damage and getting yourself a new card. Loatheb did its thing already. Denied 1 turn of optimal spell plays. Coin
Where shall I strike?
from the 4 mana to the 5 mana. Just so you can contest their Druid of the Claw with a Druid of the Claw of your own. Yeah, I like it over the Belcher. Belcher's damage output potential is just 4. While the Druid does it immediately, and if Nymerius attacks into the Druid, they will be able to trade.
Tazingo! Yeah.
Does not want to give Outplay the satisfaction of being able to trade Druid of the Claw for Druid of the Claw straight up.
What to do?
Outplay does not want to do this wild growth. Not now. You want to utilize that as a card draw. Really no good targets to Keeper. Savage Roar on a 1 minion board just so you can get value from your own Druid of the Claw. Those are one of those really difficult calls to make. Keeper, maybe silence down the Pilot Shredder?
I must safeguard the land.
Nope. Taking out the taunt wall out of your way. This actually signals to Nymerius that there might be a combo in Outplay's hand right now. Of course we know there isn't, but that there might be, because he's so urgent to clear out the taunts. And yes, the 3-2 would have been able to trade up into the Druid of the Claw, so it makes a lot of sense anyway. Shredder or Savage Roar, face tanking. No targets for big game, can't play Nymerius, so that's really the only option. What could they draw into right now that would make a significant swing? Well, you don't want to swipe a Shredder. If you got the second Wrath for 3, then you could argue to use that for the Shredder. They already used 1 Wrath to cycle, so the odds are less than... Well, they are actually 1 in 18 from this turn onwards. Belcher fits the curve nicely. I actually think that the second Druid of the Flame should also be played. Either as a 2-5. Yeah, 2-5 is better than 5-2 right now, because you've already seen some pretty nasty mechanics from the Druid player. And you don't want to be using just your hero power. Yep, 5-2 for the aggression. You're relying on this Sludge Belcher not getting owled or silenced otherwise. Because if the Sludge Belcher gets silenced, then you're in a world of hurt. Hero power, Shade. You could commit the Big Game Hunter already. You haven't seen the Dr. Boom though, so holding on to it is not a mistake either.
I've got the beast in my sights.
Excuse me about that. Perfect placement when it comes to the Shade. Swipe with the Big Game Hunter would do quite a lot. Agree with that. And she'll lower it pretty nicely on the curve there, getting the 2 draws you need. You could Rat cycle out the 1-eyed cheat. Trade your 2-4 for their 4-2. There we go, cycle. And are we in it? Yes, we are out of it because of the DC, and the 1-eyed cheat is now at 0 hit points and not dying. Not happy with the way we have to live it out. At least we see that the board was cleared, but then Nymerius did his thing and just rebooted the whole section. This Druid of the Flank actually becomes a burden against these Trents because of the fact that they would be able to trade up so nicely. Swipe, does it help? Well, it helps you get rid of the Shade of Noxtaramas, that's for sure. Ancient of Force of Nature defensively means you're taking out his Trents and this Shade of Noxtaramas. And going for face with the rest. Innervate out the Shredder. No, the Swipe. Okay, so you're using the Druid of the Flame to kill off the Nymerius. Yep. Pretty defensive, I would say, but makes sense. You get the board for yourself. There's 2 cards versus 2 cards and you have a 5-5 on your board. It's pretty great. 3 damage, then 2 from the keeper, clear the board.
I must safeguard.
Yep. Battle of the hero powers from now on, except for the fact that Outplay has got 2 significant minions in his hand just waiting to be put down, and I'm sure there's gonna be more, like there is. Sludge Belcher, Loathip, perfect on the curve. You want to see both this turn, because this Polished Shredder will be able to be played with things with up to 6 mana cost. And if it's bigger than 6 mana cost, then you're probably going to want to play that card like a Dr. Boom. Patterson with no targets is unfortunate, but in this matchup you have to take that play. It is able to contest the Sludge Belcher though, so let's see if Outplaybro decides to put out his own Loatheb to snuff the life out of Patterson Jones. That's 8 damage on the board to go for the face with, 2 from the hand, 10, 3 off lethal right now. You want to force the opposing player to handle your board, and you want to be the aggressor in this situation. Keeper for 2, okay, why? Right, so the Harrison doesn't get such big value out of it. You use this Sludge Belcher to attack, yeah. I get it. Wild Growth. More cards. Even if he draws into a swipe, the swipe is not going to be... Oh, there we go. It's not going to be enough. You can swipe the Belcher, save your Harrison in a way. You can swipe the Keeper for the perfect damage attribution. But if you're gonna swipe, then you should probably clear the Belcher first with the Harrison Jones, so the swipe actually does damage to the slime. So that was a small but maybe significant pacing error. Facing 10 damage from these guys and 3 from the Sludge Belcher, nothing you can do really, so Nymerius just goes ahead and gives the turn to Outplaybro. And this makes the series 2-2, doesn't it? We're gonna go to the last and significant deck and the match. Outplaybro will have to pick his warrior. And versus a warrior, you know the combo druid is strong. So
I must protect the wild.
I'm giving this to the druid, but we did see some upsets in last weekend's Seed Story Cup as well, where the warrior lost this. The warrior won this matchup fairly straight up, actually. Innervate and a Wild Growth. You're just looking for a bigger minion than a Keeper of the Grove. So cycled out the Keeper of the Grove and got unlucky and got the second one of those. Not innervating the Wild Growth. That makes a lot of sense. Let's add the other player's hand as well. Straight up armor on turn 2. Let's see if his hand is so big. Ah, he could have fired War Axe, but it would have been premature, so. Innervated Thaurissan, that's definitely something you want to see. It also enables you to play Sylvanas on turn 5, which you would have otherwise been unable to do. Yep, holding on the Fiery War Axe. Just so you can enable your execute. Thaurissan on the board is something you do not want to be looking at. Both your silences are too high value to play them to this board. The Sylvanas onto an empty board is also not so great, because if the warrior is able to pop it and the Death Rattle goes off without actually capturing anything, that's pretty bad. But it's a 5/5 body. The only thing that could really contest anything from the warrior side of the board. Now here's why you held on to the Keepers. You can silence this Belcher straight up. Just go for face or kill the silenced Belcher if you so will. But the attacks, yeah, they will get worse if the Sylvanas is cleared. her Death Rattle would proc first. So if Sylvanas attacks into the spell tree, then her Mind Tech does not actually take the slime away. Death Rattle order counts. Force of Nature defensively makes no sense. It would just be 1 for 1, and that's not a card you want to be wasting. Keeper of the Grove for the silence. To the 3/5.
Safeguard the land.
Oh! Did not see that one straight off. 2 damage to your own Sylvanas so you can steal his Sludge Belcher. Steal his thunder, so to speak. Very straightforward, more armor onto armor for the warrior trying to withstand the onslaught from the double combo druid. We see there's no combo yet, but this innervate means that if you draw into the Savage Roar, you already used 1, I believe. Or was that the previous match? I think it was the previous match, yeah. If you draw into 1 more, you'll be at a good spot. Using the Keeper just to build your presence on the board and deal 2 to the face is usually not significant. Might end up being a mistake, since you could argue scenarios where the second silence would be much better, like against the Sylvanas right here. Despite in theory is good and deals the 5 damage, but in practice, nope, it's too slow. Ignoring the Sylvanas is a ballsy move, but I guess he's hoping to draw into his Savage Roar, developing the board enough so it would be lethal no matter what. And Warrior does not have Shield Slam, with which he could kill off Sylvanas, gain control of something. Nope. That Spite will be doing his duty, that's true. And at 3 mana, either the Acolyte or the Hero Power. I would suspect it's the Hero Power, yes sirree, because of the lowness of the health. 7 on the board, 6 in your hand. That is exact lethal. And Nymerius. If it wasn't 2-2 already, it's definitely 2-2 now. His mage is still left, yes, true. His warlock has gotten a win and the druid has gotten a win. It is now 2-2. Let's join his side of the board. Mage versus warrior. No. Am I remembering these wrong?
Victory or death! Your souls.
Oh yeah, he played the freeze mage. Yes, I'm remembering this 100% wrong. He lost with the handlock. Yeah. Handlock versus warrior. This is gonna be a long match, I believe. These were mulliganed out, so Molten Jet not something you want to be seeing in your starting hand. Lothab also a bit slow versus warrior. Let's add Outplay's hand as well. The Rose Brawl, neither one of those are the cards you want to see, but Acolyte Shield Block, not too bad. Just Hero Power on turn 2 for both players more than likely. Are we out of sync? Why do we not see? Nope.
So many
Yep, are we out of sync? Because this Acolyte of Pain could not be played. Yes, we are once again out of sync. Jeoparino music here. Guess when we disconnect for the next time. We have switched sides though, so this time we are looking at Outplaybro side of the board, and Nymerius is up. I actually would have preferred to hold it the other way around, but did not think about this one because the fact that the handlock will be holding onto many cards. I would have actually liked to have seen the cards down here, but it does seem that the warrior is able to keep a fairly sizable hand himself as well. Mountain Giants for 5. Can't be tapped out, but the second Twilight Drake is a perfect top deck for this situation. You just saw one of those executes being used on just a single Twilight Drake. So popping down the second one should provide pretty good cover and enable you to play down the Mountain Giant on turn 5 without too much fear of direct removal.
What now?
Of course, they could always have a big game hunter, but if they have the big game hunter, then so be it, then it's been used. And that's it. Sludge Belcher should be safe against a Twilight Drake, but it's actually not. This Mortal Coil will be able to finish it. If you coil though, then you can't play the Mountain Giant. That's 4 mana left and it would be a 5 still. So playing down the Mountain Giant right now, I completely agree would be the better play. Definitely not Lotheb yet. There's no reason for you to start pushing their cards to be more expensive. Not attacking with the Twilight Drake is also interesting. I guess he was afraid of it receiving some sort of removal via execute or
What now?
a shield slam if he had attacked the Twilight Drake into the Sludge Belcher. We can see, of course, that there are no such cards in their hands, but still, it's good to play around it.
I wonder.
This is still the semifinal number 2 from the Hearthstone.fi Monday Night Community Tournament number 25. After this match, this will be the deciding match. One of these players will go to the final and face Reza Koman from Russia. He's using the Cruel Taskmaster as removal on the Drake. And this should signal to Nymerius that his hand is pretty bad for this situation, because you don't want to be using all that amount of resources just to clear out the Twilight Drake. Mortal Coil. Pretty much the auto play right now, since we have 5 mana drops. If you had this starter song earlier on, then maybe you could have argued against using the Mortal Coil. This clears out the whole of that Sludge Belcher. No top deck execute for this Mountain Giant either. Unstable Ghoul would only delay the inevitable. You can kill off this Lotheb with the Deathspite. Then if you pop the Unstable Ghoul, it will stop the 8 damage. But it will also pull off this Cruel Taskmaster.
I can take the hit.
So the Shield Maiden is
What?
a more reliable option. Could always just throw the Taskmaster into the Mountain Giant no matter what. Difference here being that with the Unstable Ghoul you would have played the Hatterson Jones for 5 mana. It would have been 100% mana efficient. But this Shield Maiden by herself will be able to trade into this Mountain Giant. So Outplaybro is probably playing with the assumption that taking the 8 damage from the single Mountain Giant is not that bad. Sorry, there's something in my eye. I will be right back with you on the stream. I'll let you guys enjoy it while I try and fix it. There we go. Ragnaros. It is tempting. Grom could also be played activated on the 1-2, but then the 8-4 would more than likely trade with Grom. So that's not the best possible situation. Ragnaros, if it does not hit this Mountain Giant though, let's see where it goes. Face, yep, is bad. The Mountain Giant will be able to trade into the Ragnaros efficiently. Sylvanas can't be procced yet, I believe. Yep. The Ragnaros just ends up being too greedy. Dark Bomb fully clears the board, and this Taurisan will once again accelerate for 7 mana, I believe. And that's a humongous amount of mana. It pays itself back immediately. And this 1-2 is even up, preventing any sort of Grom combo stuff, which would deal 12 damage. You could argue going Harrison Jones, Unstable Ghoul, Hero Power would also be fine.
That belongs in a museum.
You want this Unstable Ghoul to damage the Taurisan for the execute, but you haven't seen any 8-8 taunts yet, so those Molten Giant Sun Fury Protector combos are very, very hard to deal with if you don't have your executes. And when your shield slams are this small, they won't also enable you to do much, nothing. Definitely do not brawl with just these 2 minions, so. Thus the Emperor should attack the Ghoul, it'll proc 1 damage around everywhere, he'll go down to 3, this one will have 1. No, you don't want to use the execute on just a 5-3 Taurisan, that makes no sense. Ah, offensive Ragnaros. Unfortunately, no mana for him yet. If you want to play the Molten Giant, you should play the Molten Giant now. Because the anti heal bot will push the Molten Giant out of range. And that'll be all that she wrote, so to speak. Now, you could argue for the Sun Fury Protector on the 8-8 because of the fact that you have double protectors in your hand right now. And this 8-8 taunt would be pretty perfect. Were the warrior able to handle the slime with something like a Fiery War Axe, it would still be the 8-8 to stop this Patterson Jones from getting value. Or a good trade. Yup, there we go. Sun Fury, Ancient Watcher as well. 3 out, 1 mana Farseer, 4 mana Sylvanas. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I'm saying that Nymerius will take this match. Even if they throw Harrison into the Molten and then execute it. There's just no way, there's not enough attack value there. You could argue for Harrison into the Ancient Watcher first, kill both, then brawl, and hope that it's either the Sun Fury Protector or the Slime, so it's a 50% chance that the worst options will still stay alive. Just brawl with no attack. Also fine. Harrison might still be left alive. Nope. There's the Watcher.
So many possibilities.
On the other hand, even if they owl the Watcher, then they lose the taunt from it, so it's not all bad. Brawl has now been used, which means that the handlock is pretty much free to just spam the board with whatever they have.
My eyes are open.
And Ragnaros goes for 8, so Taskmaster could activate the execute on Ragnaros. Hero Power Shield Slam does the same thing. 2 damage, 3. You definitely need the Shield Maiden to contest this 4/5 Ancient Watcher. And now that you've used your second Taskmaster out on the field, you don't really have an activator for Grom, which makes your life as a warrior much harder in the future. Interestingly enough, they had the 1 mana to cast the Shield Slam and the 5 mana, the 5 armor to make it actually useful, and opting to not go for it. It could have even been used on this Ancient Watcher for all we know. Exact the damage to take it out. More than likely actually under the Farseer, because then it would not have been able to clear off the Taskmaster so easily. Getting value. At 3 mana, I guess he's considering using the heal bot or the big game hunter, because there's there's gonna be targets for the big game hunter in a warrior deck, but it's more than likely gonna be combo to Grom in the very last turn where you'll ever stay alive. So there we go. Now there's the reason why you held on to the Shield Slam, just so you can use it to take out those 8/8s from the opposing side of the board. Mountain Giant 6. Well, you destroyed 1 8/8. Let's see if you have more. 6 leaves us with 4 mana. Watcher, another Sun Fury, maybe? Wait and see. There's no way to deal 4 to this Armorsmith, so it's gonna continue being a pain in the behind. Whenever you get a turn with an 8/8 and a Sylvanas, you're doing pretty well. Once again though, top deck Shield Slam, taking out those giants as soon as they come up. That's pretty unlucky for Nymerius thus far. He's had very good setups with the 8/8s, and then just oops, it's gone.
So many possibilities. Some still fun.
Yep, Belcher provides you with the necessary requirement to stop any aggressive moves. Interestingly enough, Sylvanas did not kill off the Armorsmith. I personally would have considered the Armorsmith to be such good value for such low mana cost that you actually have to get rid of it. There's the Watcher and the Protector on just the Watcher, because it does have 4 attack value, yeah. I would have liked to have seen the Owl first on it, so it would have been silenced and then taunted, because now this poor Ancient Watcher will not be able to attack.
So many possibilities.
And it's a good thing he held on to the Owl silence, because now the MC from Sylvanas will have been undone. It's not quite lethal, I believe. With the Mortal Coil, could it be? Nope, that's 3, 6, 8, 11, 14, 15 damage from the board and the hand, so not quite, but pretty close. And you can't really play the Dr. Boom, because all the boom bots would just not spawn. The Fire War Axe is what we would call a dead card, which does nothing for this current state of the board. If you use the 5/5 to clear out the Ancient Watcher and the Hellscream to clear out the 5/4. Now we gotta use for the Fire War Axe. We clear out the 3/5 War Axe, the Slime. Yep, then Hero Power. He's seriously considering using Grom to enrage on the slime, so he would only take 1 hit of damage. Nope. Instead, seeing no way out of it, Outplaybro, unfortunately out of the tournament at this stage. Nymerius takes the best of 5 series at 3-2 and will be moving on to the final.